There's a moment before any journey begins where everything feels still. Like the world itself is waiting to be discovered. Each location unfolds into a new scene. Just beyond the horizon lies the story we're about to tell. Now this is one of Canada's wildest and most breathtaking corners. Apex Expedition is made possible by Morimoto, lighting the way where few dare to go. In collaboration with Rotopacks, go farther, come back stronger. Outfitted by Go Overland Canada, proven gear for exploring beyond the map. Brought to life by ALX Design, custom designs that's as bold as the journey. Every trip like this starts with a bit of chaos. Gear coming in last minute, boxes everywhere. This is the part that no one really talks about, the scramble before the send-off. But it's where everything comes together. This is where the expedition begins. Now, our ultimate goal is to stand at the edge of North America, its farthest eastern point. But before we get there, the road stretches long. We'll cross provinces, board a ship, and spend nearly 8 hours at sea before we even set foot on the island. And once we do, we'll press on to reach every frontier this island has to offer. Its northern tip, southern coast, western edge, and the farthest east. For this trip, reliability was a non-negotiable. We're taking my 2015 Toyota 4Runner Trail Edition as our expedition rig. It's already built to take on a beating with a 3-inch lift, Bilstein 500 shocks, Old Man EMU coils, KDSS sway bar disconnect, our Falcon Well Peak mud terrain tires, and our full Princeton roof rack. But this is just the foundation. Now we're outfitting it with what lies ahead. Long, remote stretches, and poor visibility. We got the first load of all the essential stuff that we'll be using over the Overland series. The first shipment of parts just came in, and this officially puts us in the installation phase. But there's still a long way to go. We've been chasing tracking numbers like it's our second job. And with the country's postal system basically on strike, we're cutting it way too close for comfort. We're 5 days out of our departure date, and we still have heaps to do. But even with the right vehicle and the right gear, none of this works without the right people behind it. First up, we have Mick, our lead technician in the shop. He's the one making sure every wire, every switch, every light is dialed and dependable. Unfortunately, he won't be coming on the expedition, but his work will. And it's riding shotgun with us the whole way. Then there's myself, Alex, lead filmmaker and director of the series. I'm also the narration to this story, but my main focus is to capture everything we experience and turn it into something worth remembering. This is Tyson, survival expert, outdoorsman, and the guy who's most likely to disappear into the woods for fun. He thrives in the wild, rain, wind, snow. It doesn't matter. If it's uncomfortable, that's probably where he wants to be. And if something goes wrong out there, Tyson's the guy you want nearby. Now when it comes to fuel stops, food planning, timelines, gear, and just enough structure to keep this expedition from falling into chaos, this is Kyle's department. He's no stranger to the road. Kyle's seen more countries than most of us can name, with travel experience across the globe. He brings a unique perspective to this expedition, one that's only earned through experience. He's our logistical backbone. When it comes to lighting, I knew right away this was an area I didn't want to compromise on. We're outfitting the 4Runner from bumper to bumper using Morimoto lighting, starting with their XP LED headlights Gen 2. Alright, so this is the wiring harness for the light pods that we're going to be installing from Morimoto. We specifically chose the big bangers, and then we're going to have the 4 bangers as both the ditch lights and the fog lights. And one of the main reasons why I specifically chose Morimoto as plug and play. So I'm not personally the most knowledgeable guy when it comes to the electrical side of things, but from what I've understood so far, it's super simple. You just plug into the lights and then you find your power source, and then it's that easy. And there's also a whole bunch of tutorials, so it's very reassuring. So we're getting the big bangers ready. We're going to link them all together so that they're going to be ready for when Mick is ready for the installation. Morimoto, when it comes to packaging, probably has the best. Look at this. Look at this. Oh wow. How crazy is that? Isn't that like... Look at this. Look at these pods. Back ordered, so they send us... Oh, okay. This is what I love. We can just swap the lens. If you already have an amber one, you swap it for clear or vice versa. So we're gonna pop this one open, white. Okay. Easy peasy. So we are currently putting in these pod links in between each light, and basically when we do so, we kind of like mount them like this, and then these are also mounted like that, and then it creates a light bar. So you can either have them individually or create a light bar. So it's kind of like modular. So that's what I'm doing right now. But these are very versatile. That's why I love them so much. You can even have them as like ditch lights, backup lights, anything you want. So very cool.
They're the bigger ones, the big bangers.
Yeah, so maximum lighting output, which is going to be insane because that's what we need. Because when driving in Newfoundland after dark, this isn't a peaceful cruise. It's a calculated risk. Over 600 moose collisions happen every year, and the majority of them happen at night. That's why lighting isn't just about the aesthetics. It's about being smart. And for that reason, we'll be running our 50-inch 7 big banger pod setup. These guys are the big dogs. With a combination of 3 white spot beams and 4 yellow combo lenses, this gives us the best all-around coverage in terms of long-range visibility and wide flood patterns. With both the headlights and top bar lighting now fully tested, we're moving on to something that's going to help us in the long run, the aux beam switch panel system. While we don't have every light installed just yet, we'll be sure to have this ready to go. And also, as a way to future-proof this rig as we tackle more expeditions and lighting setups down the line.
Got them all set up with the magnets.
For added ground visibility during night setups or technical terrain, we've installed the Morimoto's 8-pod rock light kit, giving us coverage on all sides underneath the rig. Brackets, and then the only thing missing would be the lights themselves. So it saves us that because we have to, I think, unbolt the hood and then squeeze this between. At this stage of the build, our biggest obstacle isn't mechanical, it's logistical. With our postal service on the brink of a strike, a huge portion of our parts are still somewhere in transit.
Lights are done.
Most of them are expected to arrive within the next few days, but for now, we're stuck in the holding pattern, wrapping up what we can and waiting, watching, and hoping everything makes it in time.
Look at that beautiful thing.
In the meantime, we turn our attention to the interior and the rear of the vehicle. For exterior parts, we've got the Ridge ultraswing system in place. However, we did run into a small caveat and one of the parts won't be arriving on time. So we brought in our lead fabricator Vincent to custom make a mounting plate for a high lift jack. When it comes to the interior of the 4Runner, we'll be mounting on the Cali-Raise mold panel system, with both shelves allowing us maximum storage capabilities for our production equipment.
Okay, so that is done.
With our interior now completed, we are now going to be moving on with the remainder parts for the rear portion. Our C4 fabrication hatch ladder is going to be a key component on holding 2 of our 3-gallon Rotopax jerry cans. And the final piece is our ARB 8-foot by 8-foot awning.
So now I did the rack, the bolt on for the factory holes. There's enough room between the trunk and the farm jack. So when we open it up to the max, we can open up the trunk without it hitting. It's not in the way for our table also.
In true Canadian fashion, the workday ends not in silence, but in good company.
I don't think it gets more Canadian than this, man. You got some Timmies, you got some hockey.
We're still waiting for the ditch lights, so we're getting those tomorrow. We have the full LED 7-pod bar light. And then we have the fog lights that are coming in. We installed the headlights. We have all the rock lights mounted underneath. And then the jerry can mounts, Rotopax mounts, the C4 fabrication hatch ladder. And then we're just waiting for our mold panels to arrive. But all that's gonna be installed later on this week because tomorrow morning, this baby's going to get fully wrapped. So she's got to get cleaned and shipped over, and then we'll be able to continue from there. So that's where we're at. For now, the rig sits fully lit. Just a glimpse of what's ahead, and a reminder of how far this build has already come. The next step is the most exciting, bringing it to ILX Design, where it finally gets a full wrap. Alright, we're coming up onto Mark's place where he's gonna be the one providing us the trailer for the expedition. So big shout out to Mark on making this happen with us. So just coming up. There's the trailer. For our expedition trailer, we are fortunate enough to have Mark as a good friend. He built his own trailer and named it the Ep.1. And for this expedition, he was kind enough to let us use it. The Ep.1 is built to thrive off-grid with a solar-powered battery station and a fridge and freezer. It was brought on as our main gear hauler for all our personal equipment, since the 4Runner's rear trunk is fully packed with camera gear. It's moments like these that make us feel truly grateful for the support we have along the way. We just got a phone call this morning saying that the wrap is done by ALX, so I'm super excited to see how it looks. We also have a few final packages that just arrived today, so we're gonna have to install that later on this evening. And then after that, it's departure day, so I'm a bit nervous, but I'm more excited than anything to just get started, because it's been a long time coming, definitely. Bro! It does not look like the 4Runner we dropped off. Holy oof. Alright. You want to see it?
Oh, you open? There you go. Yo! Okay, that is sick. What? Bro, how can you put stripes on here?
Yeah, flats.
Yeah. All the sponsors. The Apex Expedition. Okay, it just got real, folks.
Picking up the vehicle after a full wrap is always a big moment. Having the ability to rely on a brand that not only executes our vision, but actually goes beyond our expectations, that's something rare. Honestly, a lot of what you see visually in this build wouldn't have been possible without them. And for that, we couldn't be more thankful. And I think they even clean the inside because it looks nice. I don't know, maybe I'm just hallucinating, but alright, so we're going to the shop. Our biggest part is waiting for us at the shop. This part comes from Go Overland Canada, our rooftop tent. It's the Journey model, also known as the Superlight. At only 96 pounds, it's the world's lightest rooftop tent. What really stood out to us was its ultra slim profile, just 4.7 inches thick. That makes a huge difference for our aerodynamics and fuel efficiency, giving us more distance on every tank.
Nice.
Ironically, being the biggest product to install, it actually turns out to be the quickest and easiest to install, only needing a few sets of hands fitting it on the rooftop tent. And then we bolt it and we're good to go. Now with this being one of the final pieces of the puzzle, including our mole panels as well, we're now back home, officially starting to pack the vehicle, since our grand departure is tomorrow morning.
Rice, some salad.
A little dog. Found it. Yes, there we go. After 8 long months of pre-planning, it's finally good to see these wheels turning on the road. We're now heading east where the adventure officially begins. Excitement and anticipation fill the moment as we look toward what lies ahead. We're now facing a 700-kilometer travel crossing the Quebec into the New Brunswick. Gas stations become part of the rhythm along the trip. It's never just about filling the tank. It's a chance to walk around the rig, double check everything, and make sure we're still running smooth before the next stretch of the road. These pauses might look ordinary, but out here, they matter just as much as the big moments. And once the truck is good to go, it's our turn. While one of us tops off of fuel, the other grabs what we need inside. It's fuel for the journey in every sense of the word. Kyle's been taking care of the meals for the trip, putting together a few things before we left. Tonight is a homemade Greek salad with chicken and rice. Nothing complicated, just good food that keeps us going as we head further east. After being all fueled up and having a good snack for the road, we're now heading to Bay of Fundy where the actual fun begins, and we'll be putting this rig to the test for the first time in this expedition. We've now entered the off-road territory, where we'll be putting the rig into the rocky terrain leading down to Martin's Head lookout point in Bay of Fundy. This trail takes an average of about 2 to 3 hours to complete depending on your rig and your speed. We'll be tackling this trail nice and easy since we are still getting to know the rig and its components, and we want to make sure that they'll be able to last for the full expedition as well. But once you get to the end of the trail, the view is absolutely stunning. Welcome to Bay of Fundy. As we pulled up onto this beautiful beach, we came across a couple traveling all the way from Switzerland in their custom Scania Vabis truck, a classic that's been transformed into a full overlanding rig. Their journey is nothing short of inspiration. Starting here in the eastern point of Canada, with the goal to driving all the way to the most western edge. From there, they'll continue south into the United States, crossing from west to east, covering both countries within a span of 2 years. And now we've picked out our perfect little camping spot for the night. We'll get things set up quickly here. Thanks to these Rotopax traction boards, we can pretty much park anywhere and level out the tent so that we'll be sleeping on nice and even terrain. As we set up camp, we're rolling out with our Go Overland Canada RTT tent. One of the things I love about this tent is how fast and easy it is to set up. Just a few quick steps and it's ready to go. Martin's Head is the name of the spot we're camping out tonight. Beautiful place. There's an island out back. There's a nice sandy beach. And we're gonna have supper. So Kyle's cooking up steak. And while Kyle's tackling the steak and getting supper ready for tonight, Tyson and I are going to finish setting up the camp. We'll roll out the awnings, get our tables in place, and make sure all the pots and pans are ready for tonight's meal. It's all about teamwork and making sure we got a cozy little setup out here. Martin's Head is this really fascinating spot on the Bay of Fundy, which is famous for having the highest tides in the world. One of the coolest things about this area is just how dramatic the tide changes. At low tide, you've got these huge stretches of exposed ocean floor, and when the tide comes in, it can rise by as much as 50 feet or more. It's like watching the landscape completely transform in just a matter of hours.
Kyle, I totally forgot, but putting the fire on the rocks here, there's a possibility that the rocks can explode in our face.
Yeah, I'm just reading that right now. It's actually true. Yes, rocks, especially those from the beach or riverbeds, can explode if they are exposed to high heat, like a campfire. This is because they often contain moisture, which turns into steam when heated. And then expanding steam can create pressure that causes the rock to shatter.
Yeah. It happened to me a couple times. I did it first experience.
So with that in mind and not wanting to redo our campfire spot, we just jumped straight into getting dinner ready. Honestly, after the driving, we were pretty depleted and just needed a quick meal before crashing.
Okay, so we have the steaks cooking now, and we have these potatoes. I'm going to use the juice from our steaks to put these in it, so it's going to act as like a moisture for the potatoes so they don't get too dry. Hopefully everything turns out good. Alright, let's see what Chef Kyle has in his repertoire with only a fire, some salt, and some pepper. Alright, first bite.
After a good meal and feeling nice and full, we decided to gather around the fire for a bit of bonding time. Kyle pulled out his guitar and we just enjoyed some music under the stars. It was the perfect way to wind down and really soak in the moment before calling it a night.
It's getting dark, too dark to see.
After a good night's rest, we started the day feeling refreshed. Even though it was hazy out, Kyle was doing some yoga to bring a bit of calm to the morning.
Breakfast is served, ladies and gentlemen.
Looks delicious. Can't wait to eat.
After an incredible breakfast, we unfortunately had to part ways with the Bay of Fundy. As we're leaving and having seen it in person, we really understand why this is such a sought-after spot for camping. The mix of rugged coastlines, wide open beaches, and the dramatic tides make it unlike anything we've ever seen. It's the kind of place that draws people back because every tide, every sunrise, and every evening fire on the shore gives us a complete different experience. Looking out those final glimpses of the water cliffs makes us want to return one day to really slow down and take it all in. But for now, we're on the move again, heading east towards the furthest point of Nova Scotia. As we pull up to the terminal, you'll see that we're about to board the fleet's newest and most luxurious ship. This is the Alasuni, and this ship weighs a whopping 10,000 tons, being able to carry over 1,000 people. We'll be traveling 8 hours at sea, going from Nova Scotia to Newfoundland, and once we reach Newfoundland, we'll be meeting with our final expedition member.